tunes and the parts were handed down from father to son. And the songs, I guess, came from all over the world because the fishermen went in the Navy and went away and they brought songs back with them from all over the world. I think the nicest thing about growing up here was the fact that as a child you could lie in bed and listen to the singing. And of course you learnt all the words and all the songs before you even went to the pub.
Jocelyn's great-grandfather came sailing home from foreign parts with a song. It's all about robbers and highwaymen and a flower called a cashmere, but it's in the official Cornish songbook as the Cadgwith anthem. Sarah Brown grew up in the village. She's doing well in West Country galleries. Sarah lives with a fisherman who runs a big deep sea boat out of New Linen, and she paints fish. Over there you can see Rodney up his flagpole, a piece of village life for you as seen from Sarah's window. You've been here as a child and then away, and then come back.
Yes. And as an adult.
now your little boy's in the same school that you went to
Yes,
here.
yeah.
What's pulled you back, do you know?
A wonderful childhood, I think. A good way of life. I would say it was a good way of life, definitely for children. You know, you wake up in the morning, the possibilities are endless. Once you get of an age where you can go off on your own, which in itself is a boon, you can go down to the beach, you can meet a gang of friends instantly. You know, they're all around and everything. You just lie on the rocks all day, swim. They've all got boats. They've all got a pot by the time they're 9.
I call this Temple Rock. I name this peak Temple Rock. If I can get down from here, it'll be a genius.
Good times, I think, have brought me back, and things that I want for him, you know, that sort of...
And it's still here, is it?
Yes, definitely, definitely. Maybe in a different way, because I'm older and I'm looking at it in a different way, and I've got different responsibilities. I'm not the carefree sort of child or teenager that I was. But, you know, for him, I can see it.
Are you nourished by this place, do you think?
Definitely, yes. I'd say that absolutely, definitely.
Now, I'm very sorry to tell you this, but tomorrow you've got to move to London.
Oh, that would be terrible. That would be absolutely terrible. It really would.
Come on, say goodbye to Cadgwith.
Oh, no, no. I don't think anyone can. I think all the people that have been and gone can't say goodbye to it. And there's kind of this sort of syndrome of people that have lived here and have left, and they come back and it's almost like being thumped in the stomach. You know, you walk in and it's still going on without you, but you want to be back in it. And I've talked to a lot of people about that feeling, that just driving down that hill, you see the sea and you see the cove, and there'll be a few people doing things and that, and you just, it gets you.
Down in the pub, fishermen who fought the sea are honoured in Dead Man's Corner. In the painting is Bunny Legg. He was in the lifeboat crew from the age of 14. And below sits his fisherman's son, Nigel Legg. Cadgwith keeps the memories of its fishermen alive. This Dead Man's Corner makes the pub a place where their example is handed down. When they were young men, they'd go away in deep-sea boats or in destroyers or merchant ships, and then their sons did the same.
We went away to the Merchant Navy for 5 or 6, 7 or 8 years, and then came back, and having seen a bit of the world, we were quite sort of content then to carry on in Cadgwith, probably for the rest of our lives, doing what Father had always done before, you know.
When he's not taking his boat out, Nigel makes traditional lobster pots. No wire and nylon contraptions for him. And being a Cadgwith fisherman, he naturally paints as well. His boats are always at sea, always you feel, not far from Cadgwith. When you were around seeing the world, did you have any doubts that you'd come back to Cadgwith?
No, I didn't. I never had no doubts at all, because wherever I was to, Hong Kong, Singapore, Australia perhaps, I quite often thought, I wonder what's happening down the cove now. And I always thought about home in the cove, and although I enjoyed the Merchant Navy, I always looked forward to coming home. And when you was coming up the channel, you had the channel blues, as they say. And of course, Lizard Lighthouse is the first light we saw. And it was a great feeling seeing Lizard Light.
Just around the corner.
Yeah, and knowing home was just that little hole in the wall next to Lizard Lighthouse.
Half a mile towards the Lizard along the cliffs, and suddenly you're not in Cornwall anymore. In this studio, Cadgwith seems to be twinned with Cadaqués, the village on the Spanish coast, where the world's most notorious surrealist worked. Freud is in the air, the technique is polished, the subject is sexy, and the painter is Cadgwith's answer to Salvador Dali, Jonathan Kudrill.
I dreamed I was naked, hiding in a clock, which was like a great big coffin, great big sort of Biedermeier ebonized thing, lacking only the brass handles to give it the correct funereal overtone. And my wife was out in the garden, also naked, skipping around, picking peas. And of course, as you know, she's departed for a more rewarding life in the big city, so it was prophetic as well as fairly spectacular.
If Dali is alive and well and painting the Cornish coast, I didn't ask why. This is surrealism. Forget mundane concerns. I did ask, though, about Cadgwith. Jonathan grew up in the village and then went away to work.
Came back 7 years ago, and it was quite wonderful to again be called by my Christian name, not because I had given anybody leave to do so, but because that was the name that they knew me by before I became Mr. Anybody. Mm-hmm. It definitely has a tremendous feeling of homecoming about it, and I just slotted back in where I had been, I guess, before I left. It is said, you know, that Christ walked these cliffs. So there is a very fine and magical vibration in the land, no question about it.
Jonathan's going into Cadgwith for a small event tonight. It's at the pub, of course. Cadgwith may only have a couple of hundred inhabitants, but they've filled the pub on 3 nights of the week I was there. One night it was their fisherman's choir, another it was their big folk group, and on my last night it was their Cadgwith jazz band. All that from one small village. Must be that magical vibration. On sax is a fisherman, on drums is his son, and on vocals is his daughter, aged 12, Amy Fletcher.
It's a Bannerman Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. No, it wouldn't be make-believe, believe if you believed in me.
I'm going on from here up to Bodmin Moor to my next village. It's called Blisland. From Cadgwith, good night.
And you can